All right, welcome back to the Bounty Hunters. We are here to review another show. What are we here to review, Canadian?
We are here to talk about Tales of the Empire. Season 1,
series.
if there's going to be multiple seasons.
Spoiler alert. There's a lot of Tales, not a lot of Empire, but
Yeah.
we'll get into that. Actually, there's not a lot of Tales. There's only 2 Tales and not a lot of Empire. So there's not a lot of Tales or a lot of Empire. We start off hot.
There's spoiler reviews, I'm pretty sure we're going to say, right?
Oh, yeah,
of
we're
course.
definitely
15
spoiling
minutes.
these.
I don't think we can get much talk about not spoilers.
Yeah,
in
yeah,
15.
they're like 7 minutes, and 7 of that minutes not even fully entertaining. So there's like 4 minutes in each one that's pretty cool. I mean, the ones I liked are cool, but I'm just saying they're very short. So the first one is Path of Fear. Path of Fear.
So, well, I had to go and watch it all a second time, especially the first 3, the Morgan Elsbeth arc. I didn't quite get the fear, anger, hate in each one until I watched it again. I was like, okay, I guess that makes sense. But it was kind of a stretch. But the first one, finally they bring Grievous into a
Oh.
terrifying stature again. Like, that was good. That was good to see. And that was probably one of the only highlights of that episode.
That was awesome. It was amazing. Even to the point where after he kills her mom, mom kept whispering, "Run," and she was just standing there in fear. And he looked over at her with that voice. It was like, "Run!" He's like, "Ha ha 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 ha," laughing. Yeah, it's amazing. I did say though, and I will say this, that when I watched it the first time, and if we had went straight to live then, I think I would have had a totally different perspective than when I watched it the second time around. Because the second time around, I was telling him I got a lot more annoyed because I realized kind of what we've been saying, but to me, doing it like this is put it in perspective. And it's this: Disney does not want or like females to be evil. They don't like it. They don't want them to be. They're always trying to give them a reason to. They usually, hit the brakes on them being evil, and I don't know why. They ruined Ventress that way because she was one of the greatest evil characters written, and then they made her oh shucks, she's just a misunderstood person. And then even when this nice sister thing happened, once all the droids started murdering them all, they were just like, oh shucks, what are they doing here? Forgetting their history of murder, death, and deceit. They are evil witches. Like, they are awesomely, coolly evil. And instead they're like, what do we do, Mom? Just run, sweetheart. I'm like, why are the witches like this? Why are they like soft? They're just as nasty as anyone else is.
It's all relative.
So I did like that. I did think after that it got a little predictable, I guess would be an easy way to say that. Like, and it was kind of weird that they put some kind of magical prowess on the droids. Like, we did find out there's the Mountain Clan, right? And they're peaceful. And she was like, well, as long as you don't think about or touch weapons, the droids going by, they know we're different. So they won't mess with you because we wear white and they wear red. And so they know we're different. So the moment they went and looked at the weapons, suddenly here come all the droids, which I thought was a little bit kind of like the droids would have killed you if they'd known you were in the mountains in the first place.
Now, are they they're the light side? Are they the same species? And they're the light and the Night Sisters are the dark? Because we know now that the Night Sisters are actually from Peridia.
So that's the funny thing, because there's supposed to be multiple different clans and species on Dathomir. It just happens to be that the Night Sisters are the most prominent of the group, with also the Zabraks being one of the other bigger ones too. Light side would make sense in that aspect.
I don't even know if they were light side. They were just more like how I would want to be in that world. Like, let me just live in the mountain and be me. You do you, and I'll do my
peaceful.
Yeah, like, let me just I don't need that nonsense. I liked the episode. I felt Star Wars. Like, I felt like I'm watching some Star Wars here. I mean, I'm a little biased because, as you guys know, that time period, that cartoon is my favorite Star Wars thing. So I'm a little biased here, but I just felt that was Star Wars. So I actually really did enjoy it. I thought I was not going to like her story. I thought I was going to be annoyed. I was going to yell at the TV 2 times, so like Barbarian said. But instead, I end up liking it. The all of them ones are okay. Like it was fine. And the other thing that I had here is you would trust Morgan after her people died, the young people. So when they're sitting there and they're scared, which is fine, they're scared of the they're watching this slaughter that's happening 50 yards away, which I thought was kind of interesting. And Morgan's like, you know what you ought to do? You ought to trust me and get weapons and go fight them. And it's like your entire clan, the most powerful clan of this whole world, got wiped out in the night. Why the hell would I follow you anywhere? Instead, they're like, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Let's go. Yeah, and I was like, I mean, they're young, so young people do stupid things, but I thought that was kind of funny that they were like, yep, this sounds like a great plan. Let's do this.
My thoughts are the exact thoughts of Kachun, with the other note of, I felt like the episode was kind of like it could have just been the Grievous section at the beginning, could have just been an intro to another episode.
Yeah.
It didn't have to be like that, and then she just went to the Mountain Clan, fought the droids for a second. That was it. It could have been the setup to something else. I liked the Grievous. I liked all that stuff, but I didn't feel like it was needed for the 3 episodes that her character was. It felt like it was the most unnecessary part.
I feel like you could say that about the entire arc, though. Like you didn't need all of this.
But I was gonna say, in terms of like, I think also they just wanted to show that how her skin was, and then it faded away because her clan was killed. The power of the Night Sisters went away.
I have some questions about some other Night Sisters that have been known, and they didn't seem to fade.
Yeah, like Marin.
I have a few questions about that continuity.
Yeah,
there.
A little bit of continuity confusion there. Marin from the games and other ones too.
All right, so the next one is Path of Anger.
Yeah.
All right, so Path of Anger, we fast forward a few years. We see her. She's at a meeting. She's describing some random ship that none of us have ever seen before. It was totally brand new. Look at his face. I love it when I say something that's obviously wrong, and he looks at me like, "What has he been drinking tonight?
What are you talking about?"
That's so funny.
She has some updates to a ship, to a special TIE fighter,
Imperial
and then again, here goes my annoyance with the Empire. Because instead of listening, they're like, dum-de-dum, we're stupid. We actually just wanted to talk to you because we want your planet's resources. Ha, 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 ha. And I'm just...
all about profit, man.
The only thing that saved that is the guy that appears later explaining why they're dumb, and it kind of saved it for me a little bit. But I was like, man, they gotta stop making the Empire just a bunch of bumbling idiots, or why are they in power? Like, they only last for 20 years, so that's part of it, right? Because they didn't last very long. They didn't last for 200 years or anything. And then after that, she lands at the place that we know what it is in the future, but this is beforehand, so it's kind of nice and pretty. And people ask how it went. She said, not so great. Piss off, kind of thing. And they get mad at her because I guess she promised them riches. And then you see her say, wow, they would turn on me this fast. These are not my people. And I believe that's the episode, right? That's pretty much...
Yeah, no one else shows up important. We can move on.
Right. So before we talk about that, so what did you think about it to that point?
I liked it where it basically, you had the beginning with the Defender and Pelion showing up and explain that, which I like that, like, explain that there is idiots there, that they don't really understand the potential. They just look at it as a, direct, right? They don't think about grander schemes.
He did say that it isn't a cost effective. He did tell her that. Like, yeah, it's a great scheme, but it is pretty damn expensive, like what you're asking.
What the issue was. I like that when she went back, everyone was just being like bitching. They were bitching to her. And it's like, well, you said you wouldn't do that. She's like, okay, listen here. I had one meeting. The meeting didn't go well. Give me a break.
It does kind of show you that, like, you can understand why this one would be called Anger a little bit once you, because whatever. Said,
just being,
because she apparently was treating them okay, and then they turned on that fast, and she was so stunned. Well, like, wait a second, you bastards!
States, like, I built you guys up from the small, like, literal, like, huts. She's like, I took you guys, I gave you industry, I built you up, I brought you trade and all this stuff. Here, I'm helping you guys. I try to go to this one business meeting. The business meeting fails, and now all these are freaking out, going, "You're terrible. You're this." And it's like, what?
They even call her a witch.
They called her a witch, and
They were.
That was it. That was the slur that ended it right there.
That's the slur that launched 1,000 ships.
I was like tried to look up when these episodes were in the timeline. This one I found it said anywhere between 9 and 2 BBY.
Yeah, because
which is about 10 years after the first episode.
Which is interesting. She was really young then. But the thing is, the reason why, because at the end, this episode featured the second part of this episode.
Well, hold on. So, what did you think about the first part, Kachung?
I loved the very start when that Star Destroyer shows up. You know how they do that at the start of a Star Wars show, episode, movie. I mean, it was great. It was good seeing the TIE Defender, and then Pelion, started to tie things together.
Hey,
and yeah, of course,
really,
it's all about profit.
Really quick, in the next live action episode, if we don't get a TIE fighter that flies by for Kachung, I don't know what he's gonna do because he loves that sound so much, and I feel like they always tease TIE fighters, but they're not giving it to us. I'm like, they gotta give it.
The thing is, we have the next will be Andor season 2 would have TIE fighters, and we know they satisfied him with that. So
yeah, all they needed was one. Then they had one.
They had me at 1, and they just kept giving it.
Now they get you with 2 for season.
So yeah, she's the second time I watched it, I was like, okay, I get it. She's angry because they're not taking her plans. She's totally pissed, and then the whole town's angry at her. So there's a lot of anger in this.
What happened in the second part?
The intergalactic ninja shows up.
Yes, the most famous character, the one we were waiting for the whole time. Rook.
I will say this: I did write down that Rook. I loved his style. Like I thought it was cool the way he fought her. Like I liked the way his style was. I thought it was kind of cool.
Animalistic and constantly jumping about.
Do you know who voices him, by the way?
Steve Blum, right?
The guy who does the Ewoks.
Wicket? Warwick Davis?
I believe so.
I thought it was Steve Blum. Like,
he's handing the Google machines.
It up.
All right, to set this up though, I'll set it up really quick. So she's sitting on the edge. She's plotting the downfall of these villagers because they're whispering at her. That's when you do hear them, say like "witch" and you screwed up. The insults are pretty lame because I think they were just pumping in sounds and like, what should we say? You can't say anything too bad. It's Disney. And then out of nowhere, she gets attacked. What's up, Masters? She gets attacked. And she gets attacked by kind of looks like a human monkey kind of creature looking thing. He's got this
just like the intergalactic ninja Zen. You see that comic? It's just like him.
And he has a weird sword. I always think these swords they always do is so funny because there'll be a YouTube video later about how unpractical it is. But they had this cool little fight. He was getting the best of her for a while, but then she turns the tides on him and is about to take her spear into his throat and murder him. And then they get erupted. And then the Canadian, please, once again, for like 3 episodes in a row now, tell Kachung that he is correct.
Yeah, correct. Well, I never doubted him. I just thought so. Steve Blum's in it, but he's not voicing him. Rook. I was gonna say quickly, speaking on the voice actors right now, the voice actors all basically came back for their respective roles, including Barris Offee when we talk later, same voice actress, and the actress for Lynn, the Inquisitor, is the same one that played her live action in
Kenobi.
Yeah, so all the actors came back to voice the characters. So cool. Including the Grand Inquisitor, obviously, too, when we talk about that. I'm still upset he couldn't play him in live action.
I hope that the Lynn character, hope she got paid a lot more since she had about, 3,000 more words in this this cartoon that she did in the Kenobi series. All right, so she gets interrupted. She gets interrupted by some random Empire guy. We don't know who he is. He's not important.
Some blue guy.
No, before the blue guy. And then she was like,
Pelion again.
Yeah, Pelion again. We all know, who he's connected to. And then he talks to her and was like, yeah, just wanted to see what you were all about. And the reason will become clear in just a second. And then she's like, hey, where you going? And she's trying to talk to him and throw a fit. And then the greatest voice in animated history starts talking, and it was glorious. I mean, I knew it was coming, but it was still glorious because that's when I realized, holy crap, they brought the band back together again. Because I was like, oh my gosh, this is
Very
it.
happy. Very happy.
This is it. And
It
the
just
great
elevated things more.
the great and wonderful Man of Blue, the Blue Man, the original Blue Man group, Thrawn shows up, being only as cool as the other side of the pillow that Thrawn can be. And he it was pretty freaking awesome. So what do you have to say there? I know that you're the Thrawn man here.
Canadian. I was very happy. Admiral Thrawn too as well. He looks great. Yeah, he talks great. His discussions with Morgan about everything going on, what the Empire is and everything. I loved it all. I thought that was my happiest moment for the series.
Yeah.
I also love that when the Star Destroyers come in and she's like, "Oh, they're here." He's like, "No, this is a small fleet of mine. This is a small portion of my fleet."
And they're at your disposal.
I was just thinking, he thinks of himself as very separate from the Empire.
He does.
He's like, well, they obviously didn't want you because they wanted something else selfishly. They're all about profit, but I need you for your certain talents and mind. So
yeah, he has a line in there. He has a line there where he says they're a great construct, but with all constructs there are issues, and that's where I kind of come in. And he was talking, and I would say this: if you watched Thrawn and Ahsoka, and you never watched them in animated, this would be your moment to see why the people who animated Thrawn like spit in the general direction of the live action Thrawn, even though he was a fine Thrawn. Because the moment this guy talks, he captures what it is to be Thrawn. He captures the essence, I know more than you, but like I'm letting you talk. Like he has this, I don't know what it is, but he has this way. He's an amazing voice actor, obviously, because he just captures it immediately. And in there, he was like, you were asked a question, why did you want to lend your skills and talents to the Empire? But you lied. So I would ask you again, what is the reasoning why? She thinks about it for a second. And then she was like, revenge, and I would offer myself, in the name of revenge or whatever. And he said, offer accepted. And that's when you see the big ships come in. That was a cool ass moment. Like that might be the Star Wars nerd in me talking, but when he was like his little high, like offer accepted. And then they come in with those ships, like that's, oof, oof. And it's that kind of stuff that you know why people were still loyal to Thrawn years later when they haven't heard from him, because he did carry that kind of presence and that kind of air to him. So it was pretty amazing.
It was good to see Corvus green with trees, and her little garden is obviously that was the only thing that ended up surviving was her little courtyard. But that, I don't know if you noticed, but when Rook attacked her in the bell tower, it's the same fight scene kind of that Ahsoka fought her in the bell tower in the Mando episode she was in.
Yeah.
And she fought with that staff, right? The Beskar staff. And she did that stomp on the ground before she does her,
the same sounds and everything too.
Everything,
when she was first fighting with it, was it Beskar though? Because it sounded different. And then
no, it was Beskar. It was
the same spear.
Oh, I thought staff, it was a different whatever metal. It is. All right, so the next one is Path of Hate, and this is fast forward a few more years. They're a ship lands.
A decade at least,
yeah. A few years pass. The planet looks like we remembered it, just crappy, dead. All the people are clearly not loving life, and this ship lands. And 6 of the biggest blue dorks you've ever seen in your life come out of the ship. And I remember going, good Lord, it is so dramatically dorky the way they look when they just come out of a ship. Like that. I know they're like basically the Star Trek of Star Wars, right? The New Republic. We are not here to be violent or do anything. We're here for a peaceful mission. Like, so we're going to show up on a planet. That lady is crazy dangerous. And you're going to show up with the 6 dorks.
When they arrive, all the mercenaries on the rooftops, and they're not even once like hands on hip. They're like, oh, no issues here.
they are like finger on trigger, basically aiming at them as they go by, and like, oh, this seems safe. Like this is fine. Like nothing to see here.
What species is that ambassador? But so the planet is actually still
it's still
intact at this point because she burns things later on.
Yeah.
So this,
and I guess
to me,
it's set just after Return of the Jedi.
So
probably
for me, I said on here, the only note I really have on this one, fast, not much to say on this one, because basically all they do, they'd spend 20 minutes walking into the village, and then you find out that the ambassador used to live in that village, and she went off to join the New Republic. Now she's an ambassador. Yeah. She's here to help. And I was thinking, oh, okay, so she's here to help. The only part that kind of surprised me is when they go in there and they let them through all the gates, which should have been a red flag, but they're New Republic, so they just march forward without paying attention to any red flags. And they go and they talk to her, and she's like, oh, it's nice to see you again. Kind of like, obviously dripping with threat, even though she's saying the nice things. And then she says, which I was shocked, because you only brought 6 guys with little handguns, by the way, and there's the mercenaries are up there with fully loaded. And they're like, oh, yeah, so the reason why I'm here is I'm here to arrest you. So go ahead and turn yourself over. Do it peacefully, and make sure you get a fair trial. And I was thinking, you did not bring enough. That guy told you on the way up here, you ain't got enough. And I was like, you didn't even come close to having enough. She could dispatch you by herself right now if she wanted to. You did this. This is what you did.
Quickly, I looked it up on the Wikipedia page for her character. There's no species listed, and actually, it's just alien ambassador. She does not have a species listed for her character.
Well, we'll name her here. She is the Raitorian. That's her species. I just made it up right now. Raitorian.
The runaway.
Runaway-ian. So,
but
yeah.
she kills them all. And then she had that blip, blip, blip.
She had the communicator.
Fell to the ground, and the voice on the other end.
Well, yeah, she gets chased to the other thing. And, no chance of survival. Instantly you're going to die. Gets to the ship. You think you're going to escape, blows up. And, her little communication device. And then, do you know who the character was that she called? It's very weird. I don't know why.
I don't know
why the timing. The timing's weird, but
that's why I agree too.
I get it.
It was Bo-Katan.
Was it really? Why?
What's her name is listed in the credits as Bo-Katan as well in the episode.
But is that who that was supposed to be, or was it just her voice?
That was, that was Bo-Katan.
I recognized it straight away. I just know her voice because I watched Battlestar Galactica the whole way through.
Oh, the true nerd.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's weird. I wonder why that was even necessary.
That's what I'm like. It's weird that it was too.
And this is not long after Return of the Jedi, so out and about doing stuff, I guess.
Here's the thing, though. Did she burn the woods? Because they blow up the ship, right? And then she burns the wood. Did she burn the woods to be dastardly, or did she burn the woods to make it look like a crash?
I think it was spite, like anger, like just.
She said, "My world has been burning since I was a child," and that's exactly why she did it.
Because I thought maybe she was being clever and she was making it look like because the Republic's going to show up eventually, wouldn't they? They know they came there.
Like, she's embracing her dark side, and she just.
So that's the entire backstory of that particular character. I don't know why we needed it. I thought it was weird that we had this character. Not that I didn't enjoy it. I actually thought it was pretty good. I think it could have been even shorter, but this fits because I was saying earlier, I think this would have been pretty good in a comic book. I think you could have done most of this in a comic book if you wanted to give a little bit of a backstory. Yeah. I don't know if you need a dedicated TV show to it, but I understand they're trying to push that character. I hope then we're going to find out later that she wasn't killed. Spoiler alert in Ahsoka, because then it seems weird that you spent this much time with a character that we already saw that died.
I mean, she is stuck on Peridia then, if that's the case, anyways.
Yeah, so it was kind of weird, but not unenjoyable. I thought it was okay. I thought it was pretty good.
She'd come back as a zombie. I don't think that there should have been 3 episodes, but that seems to be their thing. There was 3 with Dooku, 3 with Ahsoka.
Stupid decision.
Why not just have 1 And it made me think for the whole series, like, or the seasons, just have one episode per character, and you can have a lot more characters.
I'll tell you why. It should be 2 episodes per and have like a specific characters. I'll tell you why though. You gotta pay all these voice actors if you keep changing so many different characters. If you do 2 characters with some backup voice actors to come in to do like 5 lines, it's not that bad.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I feel like you could have done this in even 1 episode because there's a lot of stuff you could have cut out. But 2, I think, would have been more than enough to cover all of these. But
they could just skip.
I feel like you could have done 2 in both, and then got another character for the other 2 if you had to do 6. I think you could have done that.
I think so.
You could have the Grand Inquisitor for the other one. You see how he actually.
You're asking for too much now, sir. You're asking for too much.
You know what? The voice actor was there. They already paid him.
You can't have too much Empire. I mean,
plus we already got his backstory in Rebels. I believe they told his backstory already.
Well, you know what?
Red Bulls.
It was like Rebels. That's right. An amazing show. You should watch it.
Red Bulls.
It was like 5 seconds. It was a 5-second backstory flashback. It was amazing. You should watch it. All right. So we're on to the most anticipated thing that happened to Star Wars in a very long time. This is a character that has been talked about, dreamed about, wished about. People swear it was coming in different TV shows. I got insider that tells me the character is going to be this character. It's going to be that character.
It's going to be this character.
Yes, we did a whole show. If you haven't watched it, go ahead and look at MrGarrell on YouTube. And we did a whole show based on this character. According to Kachunga, he went back and looked at it and thought we did a fantastic job. So that's pat on the back for the 3 of us. He thought we did fine. But Barriss Offrey, I don't know why I call her Offrey a lot. I call her Offrey a lot. It's Offie. This is our story. We're finally getting this story. And I will say this. This first episode, I thought Star Wars was about to, and I forgot who I'm talking about. We're talking about Disney here. But I thought we had something. I was very excited. It opens up with her in prison. You hear she was having a dream or something, and then she wakes up, she looks out there. The Jedi are in smoking and they're in fire. She screams for the. I've always wondered about that. How come in TV shows and movies, Star Wars isn't the only one? You're prisoner 764 of 3,000 prisoners. You're like, hey, jailer. And they're like, oh, I got to go talk to him again. Wouldn't they just ignore you? Why do they have to come and talk to you? But she's like, hey, what's going on? And he said, just be glad that you're not a Jedi. The Jedi are burning. They're over with. And and it was really cool. It was really cool. And then she gets a visitor, right? Which I should have brought over here, but she's back on my Inquisitor shelf over there. But she gets a visit from someone. What was her name? Lynn, I think her name was.
Lynn.
Her fourth sister.
The fourth sister. She has an amazing Black Series figure, by the way. And she came as a visitor and said that they wanted to talk to her. And here we go. We finally get the answer we're all been looking for. Now, before we talk about this, backstory here real quick. This character was so evil and so not a nice person that she bombed the Jedi Temple, tried to murder all the Jedi because she hated them so much. She then framed her best and only friend for the thing and didn't care that she was about to go under for it. Now, this is somebody who clearly 100% embraced her dark side, or I have questions if she didn't, because I've never tried to bomb an entire people that I grew up with and then try to frame my best friend.
Adults,
mentors. Hey, Anakin, he hadn't turned yet, and he killed a lot of people.
Anakin was very much gray way before he actually finally turned. He's at the murder.
I think she was on the fence for a very long time.
No
just
way.
Like Anakin.
No way. But anyways, I guess we know where this is going with the old I can't be disappointed over there. But so she goes over there and she meets up and she's having conversations. And so she meets the Grand Inquisitor, lets him know that things are changing and she'll be a part of the new regime, new Grand Empire. She didn't even know what that was. He had to explain it to her. Again, amazing Grand Inquisitor, looking great, looking glorious as he always does. He's also great. Then you see 2 other, I guess, former Jedis, what we're supposed to know. They all seem to know each other. One guy looks like a Lord of the Ring Jedi character, is what I said. He had some kind of hair that like stuck out to the side. He looked like a half dwarf, half Star Wars
That was
character.
well, Dante and Ahmar were the two.
And
Jedi.
we all know what's happening here. We know the story here. We know which guys are going to get fed to the lions here. This is not a we knew as soon as we saw him.
There can be only one.
He said, "Go back to your barracks. We will see you in the morning. I would suggest not leaving." Of course, the one outspoken guy, he leaves immediately, never to be seen again. And then the other two stick around, and she goes with the Grand Inquisitor. Hey, if you're the other guy, wouldn't you have some questions like, "Hey, Four Sisters seems cool. How come I'm going with the Four Sisters, not the first, the second, or the third?" But the other person here that's trying out for the team, they're going with the coach. They're going with the Grand Inquisitor. Like, I feel like I'm maybe not in the top running here. Like, I feel like I might not be first pick.
It's what the coach said.
So he tells her, "You're weak. I will show you why the dark side is powerful." And they start a little duel. He's trying to get her angry and get her mad. He's getting more excited because he can feel her anger. She finally gets through his defenses because he's just kind of moving out of the way. Hits him on the shoulder, which then he said, "Enough of this nonsense," and throws her into the ceiling. And which was wow. And so
a loser.
Yeah. And that's it. And then they, I guess, was it like the next day or something? I guess they bring him back into the same room, and of course, here we go. He throws the lights.
It was multiple. It was not like the next day. It was like they had done some stuff for a couple while.
And
he throw to that other guy.
They throw lightsaber down the ground and said there can be only one, Highlander style. And if you don't fight each other, we'll kill you both, because they had a Fortnite level shield coming in to burn everyone. And if they didn't fight each other, so they had to fight each other. And what I said here was, like, I know she had to fight, but damn, she fork choked his ass. She went straight for the force choke and crushed his neck and became the winner. So that was how I guess she secured her spot on the Inquisitor squad.
Yeah. That was great. I mean, I really liked that fight. I mean, I liked it when she was training, I guess, with the Grand Inquisitor. She force pushed it. I mean, I looked at some of the other episodes where she's in Clone Wars. She force pushes a lot. Like, that's probably one of her things.
Yeah.
Other than the whole healing thing. But he was pretty impressed by that. He was like, "Okay, yeah, you're good. Let's do this." But
one thing of note I found funny, her hair color changes. She has red hair now.
I don't remember ever seeing her hair beforehand.
I looked it up out of curiosity. It's hard to tell, but when she's in the Clone Wars, especially when she does that after the bombing, you see her hair out the back, and it's like a brown blue.
So they say, "All right, now it's time to meet your real master." I got geeked up. I got fired up. I said, "Here we go." Who all do we see? We see the fourth sister and...
Well, we get Merrick. And the Inquisitor from the Ahsoka.
And if they don't do more with that guy, that is the coolest looking freaking guy. I need his Black Series right now.
It's also interesting to think about, because speaking of, they're the originals with Lynn. We don't see the other ones because they only bring those guys in there. So the Merrick one is the longest living Inquisitor.
Yeah, but she's also the fourth sister, so maybe it's just who they was there for training purposes. Because if she was like, she would be the first sister.
Maybe she just like, I want to be number 4. I like 4. That's my favorite number.
They all take a knee. Darth Vader comes in. I'm like, heck yeah. I look around because I watch it at work. Is there no one coming in? Because I don't want to be interrupted. Put the phone on mute. I didn't really do that, but I did. But don't tell anybody I did that. Put the phone on mute. And I look up, and basically the damn scene's over with. What kind of cock tease bullshit was that? What the hell was that?
He was doing the tease. He had his hands on his belt, pushing it out before he sat down. He was
on his little ghetto fabulous lawn chair. I don't know what kind of throne that was supposed to be, by the way. And he sits down, and that's it.
It's his backup throne. His throne's back at the fortress. This is I
know it's Disney, But do you remember the comic books of how Darth Vader treats his disciples, how he treats his trainees? Most of the time, they don't have an arm or a leg afterwards. And he was like, "Yeah, they look good. Send them out to the field." Like I was like, "Wait a minute, what? Like what is happening?"
He didn't say one word. He
No.
didn't need to say one word.
Oh,
I
here
pretty
comes.
much lost it. I lost it.
Can't be disappointed.
It kind of makes me upset because he looks so good. The animation for him looks so good. It made me mad that we didn't see more of him.
Can't be disappointed.
And we didn't need to. I think that was the great thing about it. It was pretty close to perfect, I think. That scene. He didn't need to say anything. And when I watched it again, if you notice Barriss, and I don't know what the footnotes are about this, but do you think that she realizes that's Anakin? Because the last time she saw him wasn't too long before this, and it was when he brought her into the trial, and she gave her speech that basically summarized the whole prequels.
There's no way, because the the people next to him didn't know it was him. So like,
but she has like that connection with like the feelings and she has that like empathy, and I don't know. I feel like she knew.
I wonder what his reaction was when he walked the room, turned around, saw Barriss. He's like, "Oh, this person's here."
After that, we see them fast forward. They're going on a mission to find. Oh, she gets a helmet, which, by the way, although the helmet looks cool, don't know what the point of that helmet was because she barely had it on her head, and she take it on just to put it back off again. So, other than cool,
it was the same. It's the same helmet that she stole from Ventress. It looked the same. Do you think?
Same design, yeah. We had the thing.
It was almost a callback.
So they're going to find some Jedi. They come up on a planet. They walk in there. They say, "Hey, we know there's Jedi here." They're like, "Nah, there ain't no Jedi here. I give you my word, there's no Jedi here." She looks down and sees a boy who's about to piss himself. He's like terrified. She asks him. He's like, "They're up in the mountains." She turns around and says, "Sister, they're in the mountains." And then our girl, the fourth sister, just takes to slaughtering the entire village.
Yeah,
that was great. I started to really love her character after that.
She slaughters the village, and I guess the point of this is we have already seen here that Ofri has already is hesitating. And I guess what they're trying to say was it was so outrageous what she did, it made her question her thing. But I will remind you that this evil beep just tried to bomb the only family and friends she ever knew just a few months beforehand and murdered them all. Women, boys, children, everyone.
Her apparent best friend.
And it framed her very best friend that she knew was going to go down the drain for it. So I don't know what Disney was trying to pull with this, but so I guess this was a bridge too far. When I try to bomb people, that's one thing. But sitting here watching you killing people, I can't have that. We got to put a stop to that.
Ironic. Well, because that guy, that villager or whatever, he said people are judged by their actions. I mean, Lynn just says, "Well, then," pulls a lightsaber
out. Here's my action.
Yeah, I forget.
That's me now.
Didn't you give me your word and lie to me? So I guess you're right. I guess we do need to solve this problem. So she does that.
So in that case, as far as that's concerned, Barriss's actions, she should have been judged. She would put in jail. She was probably. I mean, why wasn't she put to death? Right? They said that Ahsoka was going to be put to death for doing what she did, supposedly, but Barriss, I guess, confessed.
I think the shock of what happened, they're probably a little. But anyways, so they climb up to the mountain. The one thing I have is I said here, you have a ship. You have a ship. Why are you climbing the mountain like that? You have a ship. I don't understand. Yeah, I know
climbing and everything these days. Climbing is.
They know Kachun's watching. They know he's ready to judge their skills.
Climbing is mainstream now.
So even though they have a spacecraft, they decide to spend a whole bunch of time climbing and almost dying several times. And then they get to the top and they find gotta be the sorriest, weakest Jedi I've ever seen in my life. He's borderline crying as they come up there. Yeah, better been a Padawan.
But he was a great fighter. Did you watch
put up
that?
a good fight though. Yeah, he did put up a good fight. He was doing a pretty decent fight. So I mean, technically, I guess he won that fight, right? And then she had to like talk to him afterwards and was like, "Hey, like, listen," because he went down for the killing blow, and that's when she blocked him. I was like, "Listen, we can talk about this. Let's talk about this. Just give up. It's over with." And he was like, "Yeah, I feel so alone." And of course, you knew it was going to happen as soon as she got him talking too much.
Oh yeah, I was waiting for that.
Right, the old Anakin special right to the back, right there. Got him in the back. And then she said, that wasn't necessary or whatever. And she was like, no, all Jedi must die. And she goes, then I guess she got one more to fight. And the eye rolls came out of my head whenever I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, I was.
I was thinking of you at that point.
The other thing that I will say right now, I'm just going to say it. Okay. We can have the conversation. But they referred to that Jedi as they. Okay.
I knew you would notice that.
It was, and the reason why I noticed it is because I'm like, how dare you, woke? I'm not saying that.
It was
where are the others?
Where are the other Jedi?
Yes, it was super confusing. Like if they had said, if he referred to himself as they or something, then okay, you don't know how he calls himself. Why did you assume his pronouns are they? By the way, isn't that wrong too? Because I kept saying, okay, well, when are they gonna go fight the other Jedi? Where are the other Jedi? And that's when it dawned on me. Wait a minute. Is he they? Is that who they is? Like, what is... I was super confused. I was like, I'm not even going to comment on the whole he, she, they, here, whatever. But it was confusing because I was like, where are the other Jedi? Why do they keep saying they?
Maybe it could just be because of Barriss, right? She's got that connection with people.
Maybe she just felt it. He was a they. I have no idea.
Because
but it was super confusing.
When I listened to it again, Lynn says they as well, but only after Barriss said it.
Yeah, so it was confusing. That's the only reason I didn't even bring it up, because it was confusing, because I'm sitting there waiting for the other Jedi to come running out of the cave. But anyway, so they have a fight, and I guess Barriss just gets enough with her crap, and this force pushes her off the mountainside. And her, like you said, Kachon, like her move is the force push, and she didn't read up on her because she had no idea that force push was coming, and she launched her ass off the mountain.
So I laughed that, and then a friend told me afterwards. And I was like, "Cause like, oh, fell off the mountain, it's a good death." He would laugh. He's like, "What a minute!" He was waiting for the helicopter, the Inquisitor helicopter, to see that again.
I didn't think about that. That would have been good.
Though, I am 100% certain she did do it, because she would have died. That fall, she flew so far from that mountain. She had to use the helicopter trick at the bottom to save herself, right?
And to be fair, I think the helicopter trip is more of like a glider. So I don't know if you can just like shoot back up the mountain like you got a rocket on you.
Well, she probably
she would have glided back down, I'm sure.
Unlike Tech. Poor Tech.
But
sorry, Tick.
I can't remember if she got disarmed though. She might not have had her. Did she have it with her?
Well, that's worse then, because
I think it maybe flew out of her hand, but she found it.
She forced it back to her.
She Thored the hammer to her, like
yeah.
With her squirrel suit.
So that was it. That was the end of that particular episode.
Just the force healing that she can do. Do you think that they alluded to that when she put her hand on their chest, whatever, the Jedi's chest?
Because if anyone doesn't know before this, she's pretty much known, as you watch our episode, you find out she's also known as a healer, force healer. Specifically in Legends, a lot she used that ability quite often.
So I don't know if they're bringing that into canon or not, but.
I mean, technically speaking, they did that a long time ago in 2019 with a movie that should not be named.
Right.
I don't know why you need force healing when you could just put a diaper on and jump in a tub of water. So I don't know. Don't know why you even need force healing.
Oh, I have a note here. I put there was a great use of focus in this episode. I think when you look at the scenes, they kind of go in and out of focus to the background, the foreground, and you don't see that much in cartoons.
No,
I thought that was really cool.
That's good. I didn't even think about that. No.
More in this episode than the others.
All right, then we have one episode left, The Way Out. I only have one note, and is that she became a healer because, like I said, I didn't know if that was like official canon. I don't think it was, but she became a healer. I mean, we don't know if she's using force healing, but you assume that she is. It kind of alluded to it a little bit. There's something else than just regular healing going on. She lives out in the middle of the frozen tundra, and she's healing people, and they bring a baby to her that I think 100% those people knew damn good well there was nothing wrong with that baby. There had been rumors for years that a Jedi was living out there on the damn mountains, and they brought that baby knowing damn good well there was nothing wrong with that baby. But
episode, by the way, we don't know how far along in the future this is, but we do know for sure it is because Barriss is aged for sure. She's
a lot more than
yeah, a lot more than the fourth sister has got that good face cream on, baby. She's using cocoa butter, all kinds of stuff because
imperial aging right there. She got the
she's been putting her diaper on and getting in the back of the tank. That's what she's been doing because she looks like woo. She is youthful.
So I looked it up, and it's set between 9 and 0 BBY. So around, I guess, just after Kenobi.
Well, has to be because has to be.
They're
because she was in Kenobi, so it has to be. We've seen her in live action, so the fourth sister it'd have to be after that because
unless it has to be, I'm sure too.
Yeah, so it has to be after Kenobi. She says, "Oh, and there's nothing wrong with your child. He's just force sensitive," is what they used to call Jedis. So of course we see a figure coming. They come running in. Oh, Master, old one, or whatever they called her. There's somebody coming. She has a sense. She knows who it is. So she's like, take them. Go get in my ship. The coordinates are in my ship's computer, which was really annoyed me because that was the most interesting thing that happened in this goddamn episode. Is where's she sending them to?
Yeah, that's better not be Ahsoka there.
I'll have a conversation about that in a minute, but so they leave.
She is currently frozen, and that is a terrible photo for him to be frozen on.
Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, look at that. Oh, that's kind of sexy, actually. Look at this action we got going on here. Woo-wee. I love it. For all the time I say I'm freaking out because I'm tired of them trying to shoehorn Ahsoka into anything. This would have been the time, this whole story, if it was basically the opposite of this story almost, and Offie was dark side, like she should be, like she wanted to be, like she was a goddamn terrorist, and the person that pulls her back from it is Ahsoka. This should have been where the Ahsoka was shoehorned into, and in my opinion, like get rid of, as much as I like the fourth sister, get rid of the fourth sister. She don't need to be there. And make this about those two. That's what the fans wanted. Am I wrong? Do the fans want to see those two look at each other and answer for yourself? We're best friends.
Maybe they're opening it up for Ahsoka show.
Or it could have been fun. You could have had a Vader be there too, and the one moment where I'd be fine with someone also discovering Vader is Anakin, and then have her die at the end because of that. Trying to wait Anakin back to the light, and then it's like, nope, sorry.
So they come up, they meet each other. She says, it's funny. I find you after I stop looking for you. And that funny how that works. And she was like, she was kind of weird because she was kind of like, get out of the way. I got to go after this baby. I'll deal with you in a minute. And she kind of blocks her way.
There he is, back again.
Huh? He's not back. He's still frozen.
His camera's back. He has the thumbs up right now.
Oh.
Froze again.
And he's frozen on thumbs up.
Yeah, I was about to say. That what? We'll go with it. We'll go with the frozen thumbs up. We're gonna go with it.
What's the review of the episode? Thumbs up.
What did you think about the episode? No, bring the thumb up back. Now you're frozen in a different spot.
I don't know what's going on.
So anyway, she just dodges her basically, and then she says, if you go into that cave, you're not coming out because you don't know the way. And then she holds her there in the grand scheme of things, I guess she foresaw what was going to happen. But couldn't she have held her there for like another 3 minutes and give them a little bit better shot? Because she basically released them and she ran into him almost immediately.
Barely into the cave.
Like you could have held them back a little longer.
She could have force ran there and just cleaned them out.
So she goes in the cave. There's a little bit of cat and mouse. So she's trying to find them. She almost catches them a couple times, but then we start noticing that she keeps running into like, it looks like mirrors, but it's just frozen ice that makes it a mirror. That's obviously what it was supposed to symbolize. She almost catches them, but to no avail. They get in the ship, they put in the nav computer, and they fire off, and they go to wherever they're going, which, like I said, is the most interesting part of this episode, in my opinion, is where are they going and why was it already locked into the nav computer? But she's trying to find a way out. She literally has a Kylo Ren level crybaby moment where she's like throwing a temper tantrum and she starts smacking the walls and demanding to get out. And the whole time Barriss is talking to her, trying to get in her head, trying to get that evil Jedi into her head and tell her everything's, stop. And then she says one more thing in her ear, I believe. And then she turns around, stabs, and she gets the dreaded, but almost never, except for one time, death stab to the stomach. And what did you think about that whole part of the episode?
Oh, she's going to survive because Sabine survived.
Sabine survived. Reva survived. The Inquisitor survived. She will survive.
That one famous one, don't forget, she survived it twice. She survived it as a kid in the Jedi Temple, and then she survived it from the Grand Inquisitor.
That's right, she survived it twice.
She survived that thing twice.
As a kid. And, so, yeah, no, as soon as she got stabbed, by the way, in my mind, I immediately went, she's going to fucking live. She's not going to die from that.
You don't kill a Jedi.
Open. She gets her out of the cave, and is she alive? Is she dead? She's 100% alive. God help us, is annoying me. No end.
Oh wow! So how do you really feel about this episode? There.
What's the point of letting her live? Where's it go? Where is she going? Are they gonna go to that place that they just went to, and they're gonna join up with them? Where are they in the story? Are they on the? Are they on the other moon that the Bad Batch is on? They're on the other side, on the air planet.
Maybe that was her full story right there. She's peaceful where she's at. She doesn't need to do anything. She don't need the Jedi or anyone else.
That's fine, yeah, and that way. But they obviously didn't. They could have just had her die right there, and it could have ended in a sad moment where she dies in the cave, and Lynn's trapped in the cave.
I do agree that she probably should have died, and I think she might have died because she was like, yeah, don't bother coming back for me. And she had that old school Jedi thing where it's like, I know I'm gonna die here. Don't worry about it. Like without saying it. So maybe she did die because she had that whole don't come back for me, don't look for me, no need, you've done too much for me already. And she sent those other ones off. So maybe she dies. But like I said, this probably should have been an Ahsoka thing. Ahsoka and her should have probably fought. How I look at it, Ahsoka and her should have fought. Maybe the Grand Inquisitor, maybe you said Vader joined up. They started fighting. In the process, she does turn back to the light side, Barriss. Sacrifices herself or something happens or something, you know what I mean? And then she dies that way, or maybe Vader or Inquisitor kills her just because she's meaningless, but some kind of way. I think that would have been it. But this did feel like it needed to be an Ahsoka moment because if she is dead, it does seem kind of weird that they never closed that end of the story between those two. It does seem kind of weird to me. What do you think, Kachung, if you're still there?
It was an okay episode. There wasn't a whole lot going on. I did like there was some dialogue there that I think it was Lynn that said fear is not your ally, but your master. No, that was Barriss to Lynn.
Yeah, because she said fear.
And then she said there's no way out. And then she said, Barriss said, that's what the Empire wants you to think.
Yes, that's the Tales of the Empire. That is our review of it. Before you say which one in order of your favorite, what do you give the overall, all 6 of them? You can't break it up. What do you give a grade for all 6 episodes as a general season, I guess? Kachung, before your computer dies. What do you did he die?
I'm still here. I gave it a 7.5.
Overall. Nice. Okay. Cannot be disappointed, Kachung. Okay. Canadian, what do you got it?
I'd say probably a solid.
There we go. Look at this handsome fella here.
Nice. I would say a solid 7. That's mostly for the fact that it was actually surprisingly, for what talking about, it was overall quite good. Not perfect, but definitely not like middle of the road or anything. Like I would rewatch these episodes more times.
If I had to guess,
shitty camera.
If I had to guess, I would say because your camera's not working, that something's probably updating. You just don't realize it because something. Yeah. If we had talked about it 2 seconds after I watched them, I would have said probably close to an 8. Then after I watched it again, it would have been a 6. So although this doesn't seem like we're all the same, I think it'd probably end up being a 7 for me, which is actually pretty high considering how Star Wars has kind of been not landing here lately. So I think it's a 7, and maybe that sounds low to some people, but that's actually pretty decent. I actually would tell people if you like Star Wars to watch it. That's more than I could say for the last season of Bad Batch, as we were just saying earlier. So it's above Bad Batch, below Tales of the Jedi. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like the Tales of the Jedi was still better. Maybe it's because I like the characters more. I'm not sure. Like I like Count Dooku and stuff, so maybe.
I think they did more with the Dooku stuff. You had Mace Windu, you had Qui-Gon, you had Yaddle. You had 3 other characters that were like the supporting of it.
Yeah.
Not just basically 2 characters the entire time. So, Kachun, you have your list.
Casper really likes the list, man. He gets excited for a list. He wants to know where the lists are.
Star Wars Visions spoiled us. The first Visions, that was so much fun, and then doing it again for Tales, and then for Visions 2.
A couple of notes about the series, though. I actually liked it a little bit more than Tales of the Jedi.
That's blasphemy,
personally.
sir.
The music is awesome. It's Kevin Kiner. He's a composer. And apparently there's other Kiners. I don't know if they're wife or brother or sister, but there's 3 of them. And I honestly think that they did the music for the episode that Barriss was in that we're talking about, The Wrong Jedi.
The Wrong Jedi.
They changed the music. I watched something on YouTube and it said that they changed it to an orchestra instead of just the regular synthesized music for that episode, and it was him that did it, and he's been doing the music a lot, I think. So I'd give him like basically a rightful successor to John Williams. That's my hot take.
That's quite the bold statement, but all right, I'm gonna just skip right past that.
But the music is really, really freaking good. Interesting about it was this whole 2 arcs. There was a rise to power and a story of redemption, right? Morgan rose to power and then Barriss redeemed herself. And Morgan was offered light by the Mountain Clan, right? Mm-hmm. And she rejected it. And Barriss was offered dark as an inquisitor and she rejected it. So I thought that was pretty cool.
In the sanitized Disney world, yes, that is a great take. However, I would say that she completely embraced it when she tried to bomb all of her friends and the children in the damn Jedi temple. So she embraced the dark side, and then she lost the dark side, if anything. But that's neither here nor there. So
she was on the fence.
She was definitely. You can't bomb people and be on the fence. All right, before the Canadian loses his mind, can you please tell us what your worst rated show was?
Is it backwards?
No, Path of Hate, yeah.
It's there.
Am I seeing it backwards? I must be seeing it backwards.
I just think that the Canadian gasped with horror when you put that as number 6 is what his gasp was.
Brother, I am not knowing where your list is now. Unless the list is the same one and it's just one out of order or something different.
I don't know. That's pretty interesting. All right, what do you got, Canadian? Number 6 is yours is backwards. The Way Out.
Mine's backwards?
Yeah.
Oh, it is. It's weird. The Way Out.
And my number 6 is also The Way Out. It was my number 6.
Oh, okay.
That's his number 1, apparently. This, by the way, he went, oh.
If it is, I'm gonna lose. Well, he didn't scream, so it's not number 1.
All right.
He would have yelled.
What do you
got? All right. Don't worry.
Hey, I was right.
Don't worry.
Nice.
One out of order.
We're redeeming ourselves here. All right, what do you got for number 5?
Well, it's not Path of Hate. Is not number 5.
Wow.
It's Path of Fear.
Okay.
I just found it again a little more boring in terms of like it was.
Yeah,
the Grievous was good, but that was it to me.
Morgans were a little
there's
bland.
a known rule that we have on this show that is a reason why you're wrong on that one. My number 5 is the realization. That was my number 5. Yeah,
What?
not a fan of the realization one.
You didn't like the climbing?
No, I was not a fan of the climbing. The only thing good about the whole episode was that she slaughtered a bunch of people in the village. That was about the only thing in that whole episode.
That was the best saber battle in the whole season.
It's not saying much since there was like 2 saber battles in the whole season.
Yeah.
There was a few.
Saber battles? No. There was
Not
fight
saber battles.
scenes.
It was just the Inquisitor. No, it was the what's it called? It's Inquisitor even lightsaber. It was just the other.
Yeah, the rest of them, they weren't even using lightsaber. There was one was using, the other one dodged. That was like the only actual slashing
Oh, and there was a choke,
smacking of sabers. All right, so what are we on? Number 4. What is your number 4? Path of Fear.
I wonder if me and Kachun will have the same top 3 order or not.
Oh, why?
All right, what is your number 4?
Path of Hate. Hey.
So we're in the top 3. It's just which
order. My number 4 is also Path of Hate. It was also my number 4. And my reasoning for that being number 4 is the Republic dorks made it, or Republican dorks, however you want to look at it. The Republic dorks made that alone one of the worst episodes.
All right. So right now, Mr. Garrell is walking off the path.
Yes,
I'm pretty close to the path. No, I'm pretty close. We're pretty close. There's just one that's off. You forget the rules. You forget the rules of the game here.
There's no realization that was a good episode.
I would love for you to explain why that is.
Path of Anger. So there, all 3 of Morgan's are out.
I can guess your other order now. Realization.
I can't read yours. You probably should say what it is.
Realization.
Very good.
Hey, do you notice my grades are there as well?
Okay.
I didn't realize those were your grades. I wasn't sure what those were. You put grades to it, eh?
All right. So this is one of my. I'm going to break one of my rules here, because my next one. One rule is you can't just have one cool part, like you Jackleg saying that the realization is good, because there's nothing in that episode other than killing a bunch of villagers. You're maniacs.
That was
awesome.
Okay, you take that 3-second scene and go by the next one that I'm saying, which is Path of Fear, because the damn Grievous scene was one of the best scenes in all of animation, first off. So that's why that one should be number 1, but I can't say that's the only thing that was good in that episode, so I can't make it a number 1 episode. So I'm going to bring that to right here, which I don't even know what number we're on anymore. What number are we on?
2.
That was what? No, we're on 3. You guys are on 2, I think. Yeah, that was my third one. All right, so number 2. Even though you're completely wrong, Kachung, what is it?
Realization.
That is the worst take you have ever had on this whole freaking years that we've been doing this together.
No way.
It's been much worse.
You guys freaked out when I thought the twins in the vision.
That is the biggest take I've ever seen in my life.
Okay, you're right. He said, no way, there's been way worse. Not that that's a good one. He just said, no way. I've had way worse takes.
Hey, Hoser put this 3, so...
Yeah.
Well,
I expect that kind of out of him.
Path of Anger.
Oh, look at that!
It took a lot out of me to not just put that at number 1 for a very blue reason, and
Hmm.
that was always my thing of just.
This is also the same reason why I also have Path of Anger. Spoiler alert. Exact same reason. The other one should be the top 3, because you have the greatest Grievous scene ever put on tape, and then you have the blue guy. And those 2 people
you
alone.
With the 2003 Clone Wars that has the best Grievous stuff. So.
Well, it's the best that I have seen in quite a while. So that's why they both go into the top 3. And you guys are completely wrong. And I'm still outraged by this realization, because literally nothing happened in that episode except for a bunch of villagers died. Other than that, nothing happened. And it was a start of a bull crap story that the most evil person in all of the Clone Wars is like, oh, I don't like that you killed that random person. Sad. Like, oh my God. Anyways, so what's your number 1?
I think we all know.
Yeah, of course. Darth Vader.
Oh my God. How dare you say Darth Vader is the reason why this episode's number one with that BS walk in? How dare you,
It's
sir?
the belt. Him grabbing the crotch.
Awesome. I lost it. It was so good.
All right, what's your number one?
The same episode.
My number one is The Way Out. I'm changing everything because screw you guys. This is the worst takes I've ever seen. Okay,
I mean,
the best episodes. Okay, obviously we all had devoted. Okay, there's a reason for that. Although that also shows you why the rest of these two on her thing should be in your bottom of your list because the rest of the episodes sucked. Because the first one you got excited because you thought you were getting what you should have got, and the other two are terrible because then she's like, "Oh, I'm sad. People die. Oh yeah, wait a minute. I tried to bomb everybody before. I'm going to keep saying that over and over again." The 3 episodes that had something cool happening to it: Grievous, Blue Man, and I Became Evil, where I'm still evil and I'm acknowledging my evil and get to see Darth Vader. Those are the 3. All the rest of the episodes were like, one thing happened. Oh, a few no-name people died. Whoopity-doo-dah. That's just why the 3 best episodes are the ones that I said. And that's just how it needs to be. That's just how it is.
That's a statement. That's a fact.
You don't believe in redemption? Haven't you, made a few mistakes?
She did not redeem herself because she apparently is a clone and it's not the same character because you cannot be as evil as you. You need to go back and watch Clone Wars and see how evil she was in there and then come back and say, this has happened a few weeks later. Huh. Weird. All right. Anyways. All right. So that is what we said. I did think it was interesting that we all had Devoted as the number one. And again, I will say this again. That shows you what at least the 3 of us, although we might have a different take on a lot of other Star Wars fans, wanted and what we didn't get, even though you tried to be all, well, I thought it was so neat that she was offered the dark side and she rejected it. No. Obviously, that's what her story was supposed to be. But she needed a reason to reject the dark side, not just because she saw some random villager die. Again, let's not forget what she did in her past. All right, so that is it. That is the episode. That is the series. Pretty good. These 2 are completely wrong. Do not listen to anything they say.
The payback time is for...
Well, I will say, though, as I think, other than the last one, because I thought the last one was pretty bad, just because I just thought it wasn't a very good episode. I will say they're all pretty similar because they're real short. And so, I mean, if like 1 or 2 things happen, I think you could move a lot of these around. I think these could be moved around if they did it slightly different.
If the episodes were longer, like a full TV episode, like a Bad Batch episode, then they would be a lot different. For sure.
All right. So is that it? Are we done? I think we're done.